I wasted months chasing AI tools that did nothing for my business. Chatbots, AI agents, AI automation platforms, image generators, video generators, you name it. Every shiny announcement, I took the bait. It was overwhelming. But thanks God, it was in 2023. Now I'm freed from this AI hype plague. You know what changed? I stopped. Seriously, not stopped using AI, but stopped chasing it. Here's the paradox. The more AI I use to grow my business faster, the less AI I pay attention to. I now ignore 99% of what gets announced. But my business is more profitable than ever. And you know the funniest part? It's AI itself that protects me against AI hype daily. I'm Darren Wiener. I've built hundreds of AI systems for business, spent over 5,000 hours in the AI space since end of 2022, and I coach entrepreneurs in one of the biggest AI accelerator on how to actually use AI to grow a business. And today I want to share with you my anti-AI hype arsenal. 5 reality checks that act as filters. They catch every type of AI hype and they reveal where your business is actually stuck in terms of AI adoption. No guesswork, no more fear of missing out. It's evidence-based. And the kicker, you can train AI to run these filters for you. What you will discover in this video took me years to figure out. You'll get it in minutes. If you're a business owner or an entrepreneur who feels paralyzed and overwhelmed by the AI noise, this is for you. Or worse, if the AI hype has burnt you so badly that you've given up on AI entirely, where the real gains are sitting right in front of you, this is especially for you. Let's get into it. First, know the enemy. There are 6 types of AI hype. These are the shiny object, impressive AI that has nothing to do with your actual goals, what I call a fantasy, big promises that haven't solved core AI limitations, because the technology has limitation. The wrapper, existing capability repackaged as new interface. The wrong fit, that's the right domain, but won't match for your data and process. The hidden cost, looks easy in demo, but actually massive effort to make it work in reality. The inflation trap, AI making you do more things worse inside of fewer things better. So the framework I'm about to share with you here will catch all 6. And as a bonus, at the end of the video, I will give you also a diagnostic method so that you can exactly understand what to fix in your business so that you can leverage AI in a better manner, regardless of any AI tools. It works specifically for your business. But first, there is a deep truth, and if you don't understand it, everything else is irrelevant, and it's not even related to AI. This is my core thesis. AI is leverage, you know that already, but the leverage is never the point. The point is what you apply leverage on. And the big truth, especially if you're a business owner and an entrepreneur, is that whatever AI, business fundamentals haven't changed. You still need to find a problem worth solving and solve it better than the marketplace. That's your competitive advantage. That's why people will want to work with you. You still need to advertise your stuff. You still need to deliver on what you advertise, and then you can optimize conversion, retention, ascension. And this is how a business works. It hasn't changed. The only thing is that AI changes how fast and how well you can execute on this, not what you need to execute. And the consequence of this is that any AI that doesn't serve your business specific goals is a distraction. No matter how impressive it looks on YouTube, on Twitter, or whatever. That's cool. Now that you have in mind this deep truth, question is, how do you apply this? And first, there is one rule I live by that have helped me a lot, which is the lean filter. And I will show you the 4L. It tells you what to check. And there is a framework I like. I discovered it through Alex Hormozi, but it's from Elon Musk. It's a 5-step that tells you how to apply the lean filter. Really, that's the rule I live by. I apply it before and throughout everything. And so if I take the example of AI, which is what interests us here, before asking, can AI do this? I will ask always, should this even exist? The main framework for that describes what to check is the 4L, which stands for low cost, low human, low complexity, low tech. Low cost is, can I do this cheaper or free? Low human is for, does this minimize human involvement needed inside my business? Low complexity stands for, is this the simplest possible approach? And finally, low tech, can I achieve this without stacking tools or AI tools? And so the way to apply it is through this framework. First question, do I actually need this? What evidence says so? That's the right stuff I need. Second, delete. If there is no evidence that I need this, I just kill it. I don't improve what shouldn't exist. So just by doing these 2 steps, like you remove 90% of what you do or try or want to test. 3 is optimize the very few things that survive. Now we can focus resources on improving them because it's a better bet. Then accelerate. Now that I've identified the very few things I should focus on and I'm trying to optimize them by doing them, by the way, because when you do stuff, you see frictions, you see what should be really improved and the right way of improving it. So once I'm doing this optimization and it's continuous, now it's time to accelerate. How can I compress timeline? And finally, automate, but automate only what's proven necessary. Like that's the result of the 4 first steps. Now you can see automate comes last. I've seen so many people starting by automating. Most of the time, automating broken stuff or stuff that does not matter. And the 4L principle and the sequence framework here matters even more with AI. Why? Because AI makes it so easy to start things. AI removes friction. That's why you can see all this vibe coding content, this do this in 5 minutes with AI and so on. It's not do this, it's start this. This is what I mean. Because when you start something and you try to make it better with AI, this is the hard part when you will spend lots of time, money, and effort. Because the reality is that even if AI makes it easy to start by removing friction, it doesn't remove the complexity of making things good and work. So the trap here is that you start more stuff, you spread wider in an easier manner, easy to start, but that doesn't mean that the stuff you're doing or building are good. And if you want to make good, you will spend lots of time on this. AI naturally inflates your scope, not your results. And so there's a concept I like, which I call AI Jujitsu. Since AI creates an inflation problem, let's turn that, let's flip that over and use AI itself to enforce discipline against this inflation that AI creates. And by enforcing discipline, I mean applying in a disciplined manner and systematic manner the 4L and the sequence. Question, delete, optimize, accelerate, automate. The Jujitsu move here is to actually delegate not the doing of new stuff, but delegate the rigor of brutal prioritization to AI. And this is some sort of cybernetics concept here as well, because now you have a tool that disciplines itself and self-correct its deviation. Now let's shift to the core of the anti-hype arsenal. This arsenal will protect you, your attention, your effort, your mind against any AI hype. I promise you. There are 5 dimensions you need to understand to evaluate any AI hype and make smarter AI adoption decisions. And like I promised you, you will see this 5 dimension can also be used to diagnose your business. I will walk you through each 5, and then I will show you how to use them as a decision filter, the anti-hype filter. But wait, it may sound theoretical at first, but actually it's super actionable. But still, you need to first understand the dimensions, and then you can execute the framework properly. And I will show you how you can use AI to execute the framework. Okay, layer 1, it's business clarity. The principle is before any AI decision, know exactly what your business needs right now. I define this, what the business needs right now, across 3 points. The big obsessional goal, what is the one overarching goal we are pursuing with the business, and there is only one. Many stuff demand your attention inside a business. There are many fires that you should address inside a business, but there is only one big goal you are continuously working toward. That's the North Star, right? Then the second one is the current bottleneck. At any given time, there is one single constraint that prevents faster progress. There is no 2, 3, 4, there is one. That's the priority. Everything else is secondary. And finally, the scope, which is related to the current bottleneck. It's the specific problem to solve right now to actually relieve or remove the bottleneck. And in reality, a bottleneck can be a series of problems you need to solve. And so you need to pick one, to start with one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. Okay. And so with these 3 components, you basically have your roadmap for your business, like the thing you should really focus on right now, because this is what matters the most. Is there any other stuff you can improve in your business? Definitely. But the reality is not everything is worth working on and improving. Okay. You need to accept that part of your stuff will suck. You cannot be perfect, and it's not even necessary or something you should desire. Okay. Just pick the biggest one that really matters as impact and focus on that. So how to apply this? Quickly, define your goal in 1 sentence. Identify the bottleneck. Is it traffic conversion, retention, delivery, product, ascension? Then scope it. I need to solve this specific problem to remove this bottleneck so that we can reach or go toward the goal, the big goal. And this scope becomes your filter for everything that follows. May sound simplistic, but it's super effective. And it's dynamic, which means it changes with time. And that's how you fit to the reality. And this vision becomes a filter. Any AI technology that does not contribute to removing your bottleneck is irrelevant. It's fancy stuff. It's a waste of time. Can you get some benefit from it? Maybe, but with a huge opportunity cost. And that's what most people miss. Solving this secondary small stuff costs you lots of money and lost opportunity because you didn't allocate this energy to solving the real big bottleneck that actually matters. That's how it works. So, of course, Doing this, applying this filter requires discipline, regular assessment, metrics, data. It's not just gut feeling here. But the cool stuff with AI is that before AI, you had to be disciplined to do yourself manually the regular assessment or with whatever software you were using. But we have AI, which is super effective leverage to actually do this. AI can help you define your bottleneck, can help you enforce strategic focus, can help you evaluate tasks against your goal on a daily basis, continuous basis. It can help you apply the brutal prioritization. This technology already exists for this. I use this daily. I run my entire business with my AI operating system under Claude Code, and this is what my AI operating system is doing. It's tracking everything I do. It's working with me on any project. It's working with me on any task. It's always checking alignment between my tasks, my project, my activities against my big goals, my current bottleneck, and the scope. If you go inside my community, you can test it free for 7 days. And you have access to this. Get your AI business partner in 7 days. And this is a team of AI agents in Claude Code, whatever. But they will help you flesh out your big obsessional goal, your strategy, your bottleneck, like describe your business in a strategic manner that is profit driven. And this can be used forever, even if you don't stay in my community. This can be used for you as a filter to apply this. The cascade and define this and equip AI with it so that then you can submit whatever you do to AI and AI can use this deep knowledge of your business to filter out the noise base and check alignment with what you do. So go in my community, start the free trial, it's totally free, and at least build your, I call this AI business partner, build your AI business partner so that it can help you focusing on what matters on a daily basis and you keep it forever. Okay, back to the main topic. There are some red flags. If you have no clear goal, you can't evaluate any AI tool meaningfully. If your bottleneck is not identified, you're really guessing where to apply leverage and most likely will apply AI stuff on other stuff that doesn't matter. If the scope keeps shifting, that means you're chasing, you're not building. Typically shiny object syndrome. And so at this stage, if you get stuck here, your business has a clarity problem, not an AI problem. No AI can help you do better inside your business if you have this clarity issue. So fix this first, fix the clarity first. First stage was about business clarity. Now let's dig further. Now that we have defined what matters, let's work on the process clarity. I call that the environment of the problem, the environment of the bottle, associated process. Layer 2 is process clarity. So before choosing tools, you need to understand how solving the problem actually works. What do we need to do and improve to actually remove the bottleneck and solve the main problems today? So the key questions are, what does solved look like concretely? I would say what good looks like concretely once you've defined the scope. What actions, workflows, steps are needed? What's preventing us from doing more, from doing better? This is really rooted in reality here, not in fancy pseudo features, right? And at this stage, it's quite important to understand what I call the nature of work and do some assessment about the nature of the process and the work you're trying to do. There are different work types and AI will more or less be effective with this. And so that means your expectation of results with AI will change according to the nature of the work. Okay, there are different work type, deterministic, non-deterministic, linear, and non-linear. What does it mean? Deterministic means there are clear rules and binary outcomes. Non-deterministic means that multiple approaches, nuances, and judgment are required. Linear means it's step A, then step B, then step C, like a line. And non-linear means it's iterative, it's branching, it's feedback dependent. So you can see there are different levels of complexity in a given work or in a given process. Okay. Now, in terms of AI suitability for deterministic work, AI is beautiful. You can handle it well because it's really well defined. It's repetitive. You can automate it or you can let AI do. For non-deterministic, however, AI suitability is really moderate and you need human steering. The more you want AI to do it alone, the more effort you will have to put in terms of AI engineering, ensuring that the AI does it right. And so sometimes the effort is not worth it or it's really fragile. So that's why when you see some demo online of AI workers doing stuff alone, most of the time it's on deterministic work. They never show you on non-deterministic work. Why? Because it's an engineering nightmare. It's not robust, it's not reliable, it's not reproducible, and so it sucks. About linear work, same here, it's easy to automate as long as it's deterministic enough. For nonlinear, it's a bit more complex. You need checkpoints, you need more sophisticated approaches, so it's more complex. So the cost of using AI in a reliable manner to address at a different work type really changes. I'm just telling you this so that you can set the expectation right according to the nature of the work you want to apply AI to. It matters because if your critical work is non-deterministic, like content creation, marketing strategy, offer design, coaching, you see, lots of business-related tasks are non-deterministic, right? The question becomes, how much can AI do before you need to steer? You need to get involved. Okay, that's the right level of expectation, according to the type of work. To wrap this up, Before considering whatever solution to solve a given problem, you'd better understand exactly how the process looks like and how the ideal process or the ideal steps should be. And you'd better understand the nature of the work to set the right expectation in terms of what AI can actually do on that. So red flags, jumping to AI tools before understanding the process. That will create wrong expectation and that you will automate confusion. Another red flag, treating non-deterministic work as simple automation. Typically, when I see people doing, hey, I have an automated system that crafts content for me. Yeah, most of the time, this is just crap, right? Why? Because content creation, especially in the business field or education field, it's non-deterministic. There is lots of you that needs to be infused in your content. And so just telling AI to do it for you is most likely not very real, and you will get mediocre results. Another red flags, when you have no quality criteria defined. If you're not clear about what good outputs looks like on a specific process or for a specific problem you're trying to address, how do you expect to be able to use AI properly and assess if it's good or not? It's impossible, right? So that's a red flag. If you get stuck at this phase, the process clarity phase, you have a process problem. And so you better start mapping your workflow before looking at any tool. And you can see how these different steps, scope clarity, process clarity, help to clarify your mind, set your expectation right, and focus on what matters, and then look for right AI solutions for this. And at the opposite, ignore everything that is not related to this. Beyond how we do stuff and what we focus on, the two first layers, there is something that really matters. Without this, AI is nothing, it's irrelevant. That's the deep reality that most people ignore. But this is really the prerequisite of getting good results with AI. And this is data. Data is the fuel of AI. If your data is not well structured, it's not clean, it's not well defined, no AI tool will save you. Consequently, there are three main requirements. First, data clarity. What specific data do we need to solve this problem? Then, is it captured data? Is it clean? Is it structured? Is it accessible? And then there is a key point, which is, I call it the gap between data and action. Why? Because data as knowledge alone is useless. The power of data is when you turn them into decision and action. Okay, so how does data become execution? That's a question you should ask yourself. But the cool stuff is that here, AI can help you with all these dimensions, clarity, quality, and data to action bridge. AI can structure messy data. AI can, especially if you have the data schema, or if you know how your data should be organized. AI can refine and enrich data, doing some research, doing some formatting. AI can bridge data to action, turning knowledge into decision and output. This is what I show in this video, Claude Code Knowledge Management Workshop, bridging the gap between data, knowledge, and action. AI can also proactively prepare data for you. For me, that's the big game changer here. How to use AI to improve our data layer and our data-related processes. Capture, structure, refine, store, make ready for action. Which means once you have defined the scope, what you should focus on, the processes, what are the processes involved in what you should focus on. Now you need to think in terms of data. What are the data involved or data necessary to make the processes better, increase the likelihood we solve the problem we have decided to focus on, or we attain the goal we are focusing on. The three works together. Red flags. Adopting AI tools without clean data, that's suicidal. If you feed AI with garbage, you will get garbage as an output. You would just inflate the mess. Don't recommend that. If you have data that is scattered, siloed, inconsistent, same here. AI will amplify the mess. You should try to centralize this siloed data, increase consistency, increase rigorous structure, and leverage AI to help you do this. And here you don't need fancy tool. Use Claude Code. This is literally what I show all day long inside my community. You can use Claude Code to manage your data layer and prepare your data. If you have no system for data capture and maintenance, AI has nothing solid to work with. So this is another red flag. In my case, any data I capture can be my thoughts, can be stuff I found online. I always capture them with the minimum friction, and it is fed into my AI operating system inside Claude Code. And then I have different types of pipeline according to the nature of data to capture it, structure it, refine it, check it against my scope, my big obsessional goal, and my current bottleneck, and my processes. This data that has been captured ready for actions that matters, available for me and my AI operating system. If you get stuck here with your data layer, you have a data problem, of course, and you should focus on this first. Structure what you have before adding any AI tool. So layers 1 to 3, business clarity, process clarity, data foundation, the scope, how solved looks, and the fuel. They are all about you. It's not even AI involved here. It's your goals, your processes, your data. This is what you should put your attention to and the conditions for putting your attention to work. we focus, we act properly, we get results. So once this is clarified, now we can shift to the solution itself. What AI approach can help us do this faster, better, and more? First, what matters here is a deep awareness of what AI can and cannot do. Where are the limits? Also, if you better understand what are the trends, what are the improvements that AI vendors are actively working on, it will give you a better understanding of AI reality, and it will help you set your expectation right. And it doesn't take a long time to figure that out. And when you understand that, you have a better evaluation matrix for whatever new AI stuff that comes along. You will have some sort of bullshit detector. AI capability assessment. Know the machine. The principle is understand what AI can and cannot do today so you can cut through promises. Understanding the technical reality of AI is more accessible than you think, by the way. You don't need to become an engineer. You just need to understand few key concepts. And this understanding is incredibly valuable for any AI adoption decision. And there are two dimensions. First is what vendors are improving. These are the key pillars of AI improvements. And this is really good to understand that, because basically a new AI solution that doesn't address one of these pillars most likely is not super useful or is not bringing new stuff on the table, right? The second dimension is the current constraints and limitation of AI, because it will help you to understand what you can expect from it and what also are the elements to pay attention to. Right expectation plus, hey, warnings, I need to pay attention to that if I want to ensure that AI is providing results. Okay, so let's start with what vendors are improving the innovation landscape. Of course, model quality, having better reasoning, writing, and understanding models. The key point here is to be able to give AI models a input in natural language, fully expressed, but still the model understand what you mean and execute what you want. Second one is context window, ensuring that the models are capable of processing more data inside their context window without degrading performance. Another capability is syncing mode. So now it's well established, AI reasoning before answering. Most new models, they use this approach. It's inspired from old prompt engineering techniques like chain of thoughts and so on. Basically, if a model is thinking before implementing or planning before implementing, it's just improve the results. And so they're trying to make the models better at thinking before executing to improve their capacity, their performance. Agentic behavior, that's a very powerful one, which is the capability to have multiple AI agents cooperating on tasks using tools, external tools in a smart manner and exchanging informations. Really, the vision here is to have a team of agents working on complex workflow in autonomy, ensuring that they run the workflows properly and they provide superior results. That's a big field of work. Just as an example, Anthropic has just released agent teams. That's a new feature in Claude Code that allows you to multiple teammates, agents that can exchange autonomously message between each other to find agreement, to challenge themselves, to do review loops and so on. And that's just crazy, the sophistication of work you can give to agent teams while getting actually good results. So it's opening crazy use cases. Another dimension of improvement is multimodality. Of course, having Gen AI capable of processing multimedia inputs, text, image, code, voice, video, but also generating them. And so shifting from one mode to the other naturally with no loss of quality is really a big advance in AI. Coding, that's a key one, of course. That's one on which vendors are working a lot. It's having models capable of producing good quality codes and build for you automation apps just by you describing natural language what you want. Side note here, that's really a super powerful concept. Is I call this the anything tool. By that, I mean, there is Amazon, the anything store. You can buy anything on Amazon. And so here is the concept is the anything tool, which means you don't need to stack up X tools. You don't need to use separated tools that are standardized, that are not exactly matching your requirement. Now you can have your AI crafting the exact tool you need, not less, not more. If I take my example, in my Claude Code AI operating system, I have everything. I have my email sequence crafter. I have my CRM. I have my offer creation crafter. I have my course creation. Every workflows I'm using in my business, they are inside my AI operating system, run by my AI operating system. Since I've started using this, I've stopped using Make.com. I've stopped using Airtable. I've stopped using Funnel. I've stopped using many external apps. I don't need them any longer. I can build my own tool that works for me exactly the way I want. And it's fast. Side note here. Connectivity. It's another big element here, which is just increasing how easy it is to integrate your AI inside your ecosystem so that it can connect quickly into database, website, apps, tools, just using natural language and ensuring that the model, the AI is smart enough to use the tools the best manner, basically. And finally, another big field of improvement is memory, which means making it easy for your AI to remember your context, your preferences, your requirement across sessions. permanently. So any new AI tool or new AI trend that doesn't address one of these dimensions is most likely just a fancy stuff. Now that you understand the innovation landscape in AI, you need to also understand the current constraints, what limits every AI solution today, because it will help you set your expectation right. And also it will help you pay attention to what matters in what AI solution you're trying to use to address your scope, improving the process related to the scope, leveraging the right clean data that you need to work on the scope, right? The three first layers. So first constraint, context window. A simple analogy to understand what context window is, syncs context window inside one chat session with an AI, think of it as the AI desk. The more paper you pile on, the more information you fill in the context window, the more it loses track, start hallucinating, it start summarizing, forgetting, etc. So you have a decrease of performance. And currently, this is, for me, as I see it, working like daily with AI, it's the major challenge. AI becomes unreliable when overloaded, when the context window is filled up. And that's true for all models, including the most recent one. They expand the context window, which means they expand the size of the desk. But still, if the desk is messy or start to fill up, the model will decrease, including the newest model, which means you cannot expect to feed AI one chat session or one large language model with a bunch of stuff and having the AI perform well. At some points, when you fill up the context window, the performance will decrease, which means most of the work with an AI, with a large language model, is all about managing context window. And that's why, for instance, a solution like Claude Code is such a progress. Why? Because they've implemented many different techniques, capabilities to manage context window gracefully and increase the volume of work an AI can do inside Claude Code without filling up the context window and without losing accuracy. Think of auto-compaction, sub-agents, skills, and a bunch of other stuff. So that's one of the big constraints you should have in mind. The other one is context passing, especially if you're working with multiple AI agents. Context passing is key. The context passing, a simple analogy would be any of a project between team members. If you give them bad briefing, you will get bad work. Okay, so you need to ensure that whatever AI is working on, it has the right context, the right information. That is related with the data clarity and data quality we covered before. Okay, the reality is that when you want to use AI in multi-step workflows or using team of agents, this context passing dimensions is critical. And currently it's mainly your problem to solve. You need to pay attention to this. Okay, if you just rely on AI to automatically pass the right context, you will have drop of quality. Another constraint is connectivity, of course. That means your AI being able to use your tool. Here, the challenge and what you should pay attention to is how easy it is to connect whatever AI solution you're considering with what you're currently working with. Ideally, you don't want to change everything you're doing with a new AI tool, right? You want the new AI tool that is useful to address your scope, your bottleneck, using the data you have. You want this tool to integrate smoothly with what you're used to, right? And the current situation is that they have released MCPs now 1 year ago now to help you address this, to help you to make connecting AI tools with other elements from your ecosystem easier. And this is an interesting progress. Still, there are frictions here, and it's not as easy as it looks. Last constraint you should keep in mind is memory and decylation. By this, I mean, you want AI, the AI you use, to be capable of leveraging all data that you have. The problem with old-fashioned solutions like ChatGPT, Claude.ai, Gemini, and all this, like chatbot solutions, is that they are siloed, which means they didn't have memory till recently. Now they're implementing the memory feature, but it's far from being perfect. And everything that you were doing was siloed. I'm pretty sure you can relate to that. If you've been using ChatGPT, everything you would do in one chat session, stay in the one chat session. And if you want to leverage that in some other work, you need to copy paste stuff, you need to reference stuff manually. It's really tedious. Why? Because everything is siloed. So there is no global intelligence that can pull data from different chat sessions or different sources and then combine this for a given task, right? And so that's the big challenge. And that's why Claude Code as a solution is way better than ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude.ai, because Claude Code by design is an agentic solution that can really find the right info in your file structure, find the right resources, make connections, pull data from X, Y, Z, and then combine that because it needs this for the work you're given. And really, I cannot describe this well enough, but hey, if you work with this, it's just a game changer. Why? Because it really empowers AI with all the data files and so on that you have. And you will see that agentic AI is now capable of autonomously find resources that you had forgotten about to use them for a context that matters, right? Or with a context that makes sense. So this one is underrated, but for me, it's It has really changed the way I work with AI. All this stuff here, innovation landscape and current limitation of AI, is meant to give you some mental model or reflex that you can use as a weapon against fantasy. When someone promises AI employees that work 24/7 doing sophisticated work, you can ask yourself the right question, which is how do they solve the context window management issue? How do they manage memory? How do they use reasoning, etc.? The output more reliable. You can basically evaluate the new solution against these constraints and check what new approach or improvement they bring across these dimensions here. Okay, so that's why I share this indigestible concepts here or elements. Okay, if this new technology doesn't address anything from this or doesn't clearly manage these constraints in a better manner, most likely it's not worth your time. It's just a basic wrapper or basic automation or something that is already possible with proven solutions that are out there. Okay, the next dimension is quasi never addressed by the hype. Most people ignore it, aren't aware of it, don't pay attention to it, but it should be a reflex. This dimension is the cost, and beyond the cost benefit reality check. And here you will see cost is multidimensional. It's not just money, it's not just token, it's not just time. There is more. Let's have a look. Cost benefit reality check. The principle is very simple. Even if something looks promising, the total cost must justify the benefit. That's obvious business good practice. But I don't know why when it comes to AI, most people forget about this. And when you consider cost, you should have a multidimensional analysis. There are different cost types. First one, technical setup. That means what kind of infrastructure I need to set up, what kind of configuration, is it reliable, is it secure? There is AI optimization cost. In the demo online, you see people using AI and they get whatever result. It seems simple, but the reality is that behind the scene, there is prompt engineering, there is orchestration, there is testing, trial and error, optimization, and that takes time, effort, and skills. That's a cost. It's not just fire and forget. It's not just install and that's it, you're good, you got good results. Most of the time, it's not the case. Another cost is the learning curve. That's the time before you are actually productive with the AI solution, whatever the AI solution is. And that means you spend time to learn it. But now the key question is this stuff you've learned actually transferable, or is this just tool specific? Which means if you change the tool, basically you need to start from scratch again. That's a key aspect to consider. The other cost is maintenance. Now I have my fancy AI solution, but what is the maintenance cost? What are the cost of error handling, the time spent, and so on? And how the edge cases are addressed by the solution? Do I need to spend lots of time because there are lots of edge cases when I need to tweak a bit the solution? That's an additional cost. Another cost is obsolescence risk. Will this effort I put in the new AI solution be wasted when another solution appears, when a simpler solution appears? The security risk is the next one. Data exposure, vendor lock-in, trust implications. That what matters a lot for, especially if you are a bigger business. And then finally, one that is, for me, one of the main costs you should consider is the complexity task. And by that, I mean hidden cost on attention, context switching, and cognitive load. And really with AI solution, cognitive load is really a drawback that you will suffer from. Why? Because AI and AI tools have the tendency to spit out lots of data that you need to check. It's basically opening possibilities, but with these comes more information to process. And that's really a cost and a trap. And so many times I've seen it. There is an AI solution that sounds good. You start implementing it, and actually, hey, you need to tweak it. You need to test it. You have new possibilities, so you need to test that. It doesn't work, so you need to test the alternative. And so now you have to manage this complexity, to address it, this inflation of possibility. Anyways, doing the cost analysis first is not enough. You need also to check the benefit, because the cost can be justified if the benefit is there. The question you should ask yourself about the benefit is, what are the measurable contribution to the scope, contribution of this new AI solution to the scope? How does this new AI solution improve the data layer? What kind of increase in output volume and quality do we have? You need to assess both the quality and the volume. And final one, is this AI solution actually providing a genuine resolution of AI capability constraints that translate into more, better, faster outputs? And a leading question I like to ask myself, considering the cost and the benefit, is there a simpler way to do it? And if I have to give you an example, I have my CRM inside my AI operating system, and I need to feed data inside my CRM. And the way I do it, my business being a school community, I use the data that school provide me. The thing is that school has no API. So I had two choices. Either I do it manually, which means I do screenshots and quick copy pasting that I feed my AI, and then my AI is just figuring out the data, restructuring it, and putting it in my CRM. And actually, Actually, it may sound tedious, but in reality, it takes like maybe 2 minutes. Really, it's super fast. So I could stick to that, but it's manual, right? Or I could try to use the Chrome extension of Claude so that I can navigate my school community, scrape data, then feed it, blah, blah, blah. Complexity. I chose to keep doing my screenshot copy pasting in my Claude code, right? Because it's simple. It doesn't take that much time. It's reliable. Okay. It's leaner. It's not fancy. It's not cool, but it's way more effective. And so sometimes you will have some AI solution that sounds really, really good, but kind of complex and have associated costs. And actually the benefit is not worth it. And so the reality is not everything is worth automated. Okay. The ratio, benefit, cost. That's what matters. The red flags here, yeah, when you see fancy demos on YouTube and Twitter, the cost is never discussed and across the different dimensions. They're hiding it because it's not sexy, right? So that's a red flag. If you see easy setup, be careful because maybe it's easy to start, but then it requires ongoing optimization and maintenance. And once again, it's rarely addressed, but this is a cost. This is a subscription of your time and the benefit might not be worth it. Other red flags, if this is a very specific tools with specific learning that only applies to this tool, it's a wasted investment as well. And so you should double check or think further before adopting this. Okay, now we have the 5 dimensions. Question is how to use them in a practical manner as a decision filter. So far, we've seen the 5 layers. Now it's time to use them as filters. So every new AI tech must pass 3 filters. If it fails one, that's a noise. You shouldn't pay attention to. Filter 1 is the scope test. Does it serve your big goal and bottleneck removal? That's layer 1 involved here. If no, it's irrelevant, no matter how impressive it is. Forget about it, kill it. Filter number 2, the process and data test. Does it match your work type, your process, and can it leverage your data? Do you have the data ready to use this? So that's layer 2 and 3 involved here. If no, it's incompatible with how you work. So it's a waste of time. Filter number 3, the capability and value test. Does it generally improve AI constraints that we've covered in layer 4? And is it a total investment across the different cost dimension worth it? That's layer 5. If it doesn't improve any constraints, most likely it's fancy. And if the cost benefit analysis doesn't hold, it's not worth your attention. Forget about it. And so how to use these filters? Start with filter 1 first. You will see that it will kill most of the AI hype. Then if it survives, filter 1, use filter 2, because that's your context, your process, your data, or your ideal process, your ideal data. And if it survives, the process and data test, then use the filter number 3, capability and value test. It will help you screen out fancy AI news, and also it will help you rationalize your investment in potentially exploring and then adopting a new tool. So red flags here, if it's exciting but fails filter 1, it's just a distraction, like forget about it. Have the discipline to just ignore it. If it passes filter 1 but can't work with your process and data, it's incompatible. You should first work on your process and your data. If the new AI claims to do everything but doesn't address core AI limitation, it's mostly fancy. If it costs more, then it's worse. And really by cost, I mean across the multi-cost dimension that we covered. If it costs more than it's worth, it's not free. So do the costs benefit analysis. So applying these 3 filters will help you decide. After passing through all layers, the 5 layers, using the 3 filters, you can get 3 outcomes. Outcomes number 1, adopt. It passes all features, cost is justified, it addresses the real constraints. Now you can integrate and pilot on your current bottleneck. Outcome number 2 could be monitor, which means it addresses real constraints, but the solution is still immature. It can be the solution that's really early. For instance, agent teams in Claude Code at the time I'm recording this video, it's still immature, so you shouldn't spend too much time testing it. I'm doing it for you. Or that can be you is immature because your process is not clear enough or your data layer is not clean enough or good enough. And so you're not ready for this AI tech. The other situation in which monitor makes sense is when the AI solution is relevant, but the cost is not yet justified. And so the good approach here is note the new stuff, the new AI stuff, but put it aside, ignore it, and revisit in 3-6 months. And in the meantime, you can work on the maturity, which means you can improve your process on the data layer, or maybe the technology will become more accessible. This new AI trend will become more accessible, or maybe you will be in a new situation where the cost actually makes sense because the potential benefit is bigger for you, taking into account your situation. Okay. Then final outcome is ignore. It fails filters 1 or every filters, just move on. Zero guilt, zero fear of missing out. Just ignore it. Let's just quickly summarize so we drive this home. The first filter is the lean filter. Should it exist at all? Just to illustrate that, I spent a few years ago, 2022, 2023, I spent lots of time working with image generation AI solution. Midjourney, Leonardo, Stable Diffusion, and a bunch of others. It was a pure waste of time. Really, it shouldn't have existed at all for me. It wasn't related to my business. It was just pure curiosity. I spent so much time on this. So it would have failed the lean filter. Then we have the 5 layers. The layer 1, the scope, does it serve my bottleneck? Layer 2, the process, does it match my work type? Layer 3, the data, can it use my data? Do I have data ready to leverage this new AI thing? Layer 4, capability, does it solve real AI constraints, or is it just fancy wrappers or whatever? Layer 5, cost benefit. Is the total investment worth it? And so when you apply this 5 layer, you have the 3 filter, the scope filter. If it's failed, it's a distraction. You have the process plus data filter. If it fails, it's incompatible. And you have the capability and cost filter. If it fails, it's not worth it or it's fancy. And you have the 3 decision. Passes the filters you adopt. Not yet, you monitor. Or fails, totally fails, you ignore. Okay, so the framework gives you the 5 dimensions and evaluation gate, how to use the 5 dimensions. But let's face it, who applies them consistently? It's not because you have the framework and you have the method that you will apply it, right? That's the reality. Who enforces the lean principle when you're excited by a new tool, when you see in your feed, like you're bombarded with new messages or new content about this new shiny stuff. Like when I'm recording this video, it's OpenClaw. OpenClaw is the new stuff. Let me tell you, it's most likely a waste of time. Whatever. Apply the filters to find out if it's worth your time and your investment for your specific situation. The key point here is, even if you know the principle, even if you know the filters, even if you know the method, it's hard to be disciplined enough to implement it and use it consistently, right? That's usual problem. And so this is where it gets powerful. That's the AI Jujitsu I'm talking about here. Your AI system can do this for you, can apply the framework for you. Which means the 5 layers and the 3 filters aren't just anti-hype protection. There are principles you should practice daily, and you don't have to do it alone. It doesn't have to be just you practicing. You can have a system, an AI system, that practices them for you. That's the real power of it. And this system is AI, of course. What does it look like in practice when actually the AI system itself enforces the 5 layers and the 3 filters to protect you against the hype, the AI hype? First, if you give AI knowledge about your layer 1, your scope, your big obsessional goal, your current bottleneck, your plan to address the bottleneck, then naturally AI can enforce alignment between what you consider the AI hype or even your daily work and actually your goal in the bottleneck. I call this the strategic layer inside an AI operating system. If in addition to that, you use AI consistently to manage your data, which means capture it, format it, prepare it for actions, then you have an AI system that can consistently help you filter out the noise and focus on what matters. That's what I cover partly in this video, knowledge management with Claude. Also in this video, never lose an idea again. I cover simple workflows to ensure that your AI capture, structure, refine, check for alignment, anything that you capture. So it's content, external data, books, PDF, articles, whatever. Pass through your AI and store as structured data in your AI. Then you should use AI to run your workflows, your rules, your quality check. You can equip AI with the routines to apply this. Apply your SOPs, for instance, your standard operating process. You can equip your AI with brutal prioritization that is applied consistently. Anything I do in my AI operating system and in Claude Code, I can call an agent whose only job is to apply a brutal prioritization framework. When you have equipped the AI system you're working on with right knowledge about your business, your priorities, and so on, layer 1, with access to the data and capability to manage your data, which is layer 3, and understanding of your workflow, your rules, and your quality checks so that it can actually help you enforce them, that's layer 2. And if in addition to that, you have given it some brutal prioritization framework, then when a new AI tool appears, your AI can run the prioritization framework I've given you, layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that it can help you assess the new AI tool, if you like, quickly. And this is really AI Jujitsu in action. Okay, AI creates a hype problem, AI creates inflation problem, but your AI equipped with the right components, your strategic layer, your data management system, the different workflows, processes you run inside your business, and a brutal prioritization framework. So your AI equipped with this can now enforce the discipline and apply the 5 layer and the 3 filters to protect you against the hype. The tool disciplines itself. Now you may ask yourself, how is it even possible? Am I just talking about theoretical stuff here? No, I'm not. And let me share with you some deep perspective from the last 4 years I've spent working every single day with AI for my business. If you think about it, what I'm telling you here is the way AI has evolved over the past few years. It's rooted in the way AI has evolved in the past few years. Everything I'm telling you here, AI that knows your strategic context, AI that manages your data, AI that apply your SOPs or ensure that you work according to your workflows, your rules, your SOPs. AI that is capable of using all these elements to brutally prioritize what you should focus on and the way you should work. All this advanced AI system is just the natural evolution of the AI across the years. Okay? A good way to describe these are the 3 AI stages. If you think about it, in 2022, 2023, it was manual AI. We got prompt library, documents that we manually organized, and you had to do literally everything. AI was just answering your questions, producing some text, and of course, it was better than nothing, but it was still draining because you had to manually organize everything and maintain everything. Then in 2023, 2024, we saw what I called equipped AI, which means for me, it was custom GPTs, the capability to give specific knowledge and specific process to a AI so that it can actually execute a specialized work the way you like and without you repeating the method and what it should do and how it should do it, right? And you could make them work as teams. So it was some sort of teams of AI, specialized AI assistants. Super effective, way more effective than manual AI when you were copy-pasting prompts. But still, all the structure, the organization, and the discipline was on you. AI has knowledge, specific knowledge, but no initiative. You had your Google Doc or your folder on your files with context and so on that you paste in the AI tools. And 2 stages are really tool-centric. It's considering AI as a tool, but it's not like this any longer. Now AI is not a tool. AI is a system, and that makes a huge difference. That's what we are now, 2025, 2026, AI operating system. Now you can have agentic AI that can manage structure, organization, routine execution. And that means you don't have to manage the discipline, the structure, the organization any longer. What you do, you work on what matters, you give direction, you steer teams of AI agents, you steer AI system with the workflow that the AI system knows to do. AI can manage itself with increasing autonomy. AI can ensure that you capture data, capture knowledge properly, you refine it properly, you structure it properly, you make it available for the right workflows, and then AI can execute the work. Of course, you still trigger it, you still give direction, you still check what AI is doing, but now it's no more copy-pasting prompts, it's no more copy-pasting context or files between custom GPTs or chatbot or whatever AI solution you're using. Now you can have a full AI integrated system that handles all this for you. Really, if there is one key concept you should keep in mind from this video is that AI stopped just being a tool. It became capable of being a system. A tool does what you ask. A system organizes how things get done, including enforcing discipline on itself. And this is really a cybernetic concept here, is that the system is kind of self-organizing in some extent, and it can apply discipline on itself. And it can help you also apply discipline on yourself without a mental drain. Why? Because it knows how things should be done, and it's capable of pointing out what things should be done. So it helps with the what you should do. It helps you focus on what you should do, and it helps you with the how to do them properly, in a consistent basis, in a repeatable manner, in a clean way. And for me, that's the shift that makes everything we just covered executable and not theoretical today, which means this framework I've given you, like the 5 layers, with the 3 filters, you can totally teach that to your AI operating system so that your AI operating system can use it. If I take an example, with the big hype currently when I'm recording the video about OpenClaw, guess what I did? I gave access to the OpenClaw repo, which is where the code of this solution is stored, to my AI operating system that knows my strategic context, that knows my processes, that understand my data organization, because this is my AI operating system that may manage my data organization, right? It has all this information, and that's why it was able to apply the exact framework I've shared with you today to analyze this new AI tool. And I was doing nothing here, okay? I wasn't putting any effort here. I just give access to the repo. I say, hey, there is this new stuff, check it for me and apply the filters and give me a short report and preconization. Should I investigate it or not? It takes me no time. And guess what? It told me, hey, you have better to do. Anyways, so that's a deep trend. AI is maturing from a tool you use into a system that organizes how it serves you and autocorrect. The intelligence isn't applied just to your tasks. It's not just about executing specific work you ask it to do. It applies to the system's own structure, memory, discipline. It's self-organized, self-maintains, increasingly self-correcting and self-improving. Of course, you're still there steering, you can still give the orientation, but the level of autonomy of the AI system, not the AI tool, has increased dramatically. And I really want you to understand that and experience that, because like for me, it's just a game changer in my daily work experience. I've never been as disciplined and as organized as I am currently, and it has never been so easy for me to do. And it's all thanks to the correct use of AI, not as a tool, but as a system, integrated system that manage my strategic layer, priorities, bottleneck, and so on, my data layer, and my workflows, routine, SOPs. And I've been able to remove most of the tools, including AI tools I was using before that. When you understand this concept, shifting from AI tools to AI system, that gives you also a directional insight. When you choose an AI solution or when you want to improve your AI game, lean toward AI solution that lets you build a system or let you improve your existing system, not just an additional tool. A tool gives you some output, more or less good, more or less relevant to what you should focus on, whereas a system gives you structure, discipline, and protection. That's where the value compounds over time. And this compounding mechanism is something that you will have with an AI system that you won't have with an AI tool that may be replaced in 2 months. Okay? So the ultimate move for me is equip your AI with this framework. I don't know why AI you're using. Maybe you're still using ChatGPT. I would recommend that you pay sometimes, you invest sometimes learning Claude Code, because really it's a game changer. Anyways, equip whatever you use as an AI with this framework to help you protect yourself against hype and overwhelm, AI overwhelm. So that when the next hype wave hits, you can point your AI at the tool documentation and let it run the evaluation. Quick summary. We've seen the 5 dimensions that contribute to the framework: your scope, your process, your data, AI capabilities and limitations, as well as pillars of AI innovation, and the cost-benefit analysis. We've seen how the evaluation gate combines these 5 layers combined into 3 filters that you can apply systematically when you evaluate new AI solution. But even more, we've shared how your AI system can enforce all of this method, this framework for you. I mean, you don't have to spend time doing it. You can subcontract this to the right AI system. Now, remember the 6 types of hype we named at the very beginning of this video? Let's see how the framework catches each one. Okay, hype type number 1, shiny object. That's impressive AI unrelated to your goal. So what to ask? Does it serve my bottleneck? And so here, this is layer 1, the scope that will kill it, most likely. Second hype type, it's fantasy. Big promises, but unsolved limitations. Typically, the big promise that fuel the current AI hype around OpenClaw, for instance, is the AI employee that works 24/7. But the thing is that there are some engineering complexity that is hidden here, okay? It doesn't necessarily solve context management or memory issues, and you still have to spend lots of time to figure it out, to make it workable, right? So what limitation did they solve? That's the right question to ask. And so the right layer to filter out this type of hype, it's capability, layer 4. Third hype type, the wrapper. This is existing capabilities repackaged. Typically, back in the day, like 3 years ago, there were lots of SaaS that were just wrappers around ChatGPT. Nowadays, they are all dead. They were useless. The question is, what's left without a UI? What kills it? It's the layer 4 AI capability and the filter number 3, which is cost-benefit evaluation, that will kill the wrappers. Type number 4, wrong fit. What it is, it's the right domain, but it's wrong for your situation. So the question is, does it match how I work? And here, that's layer 2 and 3. So your processes and your data that define if that's the right fit for you, and maybe it's not. Hype type number 5, hidden cost. So that's AI tool that works, but actually the costs are far more than shown. Typically, vibe coding is a good example. The promise is that you can build apps in minutes just speaking. The reality is that then you will build maybe something that most likely is crappy and not functional, and you will have to spend weeks of refinement, lots of learning to understand how to make it better, plus the ongoing maintenance once you have deployed it. And so the real question to ask is, what does it actually cost? And so here it's purely layer 5 cost benefit that will kill this kind of hype. Finally, last hype type is inflation trap. And here it's AI making you do more things worse. There's a tendency of AI to create data, work, task, inflation. And so the typical example is when you use AI to start 5 projects or 5 ideas, actually at 20% dev instead of 1 at 100%. So just scattering your attention here. And so question to ask is, fewer things better? Yes, it is. And actually what kills it is the lean principle, like the 4L. Always pass everything you do across the 4L. Low human, low cost, low tech, low complexity. You now have a solid framework to protect yourself from the 6 types of hype, and you know your AI can help you enforce it. It's not just up to you, but it's way more than just anti-hype protection. The framework isn't just for evaluating tools. It's also a diagnostic of your business situation in your, let's say, in your AI adoption journey, where you should focus your effort.
These 5 layers are also a process you can go through to analyze your own situation, because you may have a clarity problem, which means you're not clear about your goal, your bottleneck, what you should focus on.
And so you should start with this before considering adopting new AI tools, right? Of course, AI can help you with this. This is what I showed you inside my community. This module will help you with this. You can do it during the 7 free trial, and you can get an AI business partner that will help you clarify your goals, your strategy, and every relevant information about your business. And then using this AI business partner, you can keep your focus on what matters, right? And so you can solve this clarity problem. Then you have the process problem. And here it's, before going further, you need to be clear about the workflows, your processes to address what matters, like the scope, okay? And so you can use AI also to help you map out this and to help you structure that in a better manner. And of course, once you've got your SOPs and your process clearly defined, you can equip an AI with this to help you do them, actually. But that's layer 2. You should do this next. And then you may have a data problem, which means whatever is the scope and the process you consider, if you don't have clean data, it's useless to use AI. And so you should focus on structuring what you have, your data, current data, ensuring you capture them properly, you refine them, structure them properly, and you make them available for whatever process needs them, right? And of course, you can use AI to do this. That's exactly what I do with my AI operating system, okay? My AI operating system is in charge of all my data management process. But it's super important that you work on your data layer first before considering adding new AI capabilities inside your business. And then the only thing that remains is your awareness about the real capability of AI. And so it's worth investing sometimes to learn the basic of how AI works, so that it helps you evaluate if the solution that you have identified that would help you address the scope, the process, and data actually have the capability to provide the results you expect. It's the main goal here is to set your expectation right, and also it will prepare the next layer, the cost benefit, because if you understand the capability of AI, you will be able to better understand the cost associated with trying them and implementing them and maintaining them. So it will also, layer 4, capability awareness, will fuel the layer 5, the cost benefit analysis that address the decision problem. You should be honest about the total cost of what you will implement, AI tool you will implement. And I've given you in this video, I've given you the breakdown of different types of costs associated with running AI solutions. And you should use this as a framework to analyze the effort, the cost associated with whatever new AI tools you have selected, because they actually match your scope, your process, your data, and you are aware of the limitations or potential drawbacks of them, of the AI solution, right? So wherever you get stuck in the 5 dimensions, that's where your business need works, regardless of any AI tools, and you should go through it, through the process sequentially, okay? So I know that was a lot. I want you to leave you one very quick trick. It's a 30-second screening you can use right away before running the full framework. And just this will help you kill most of the AI hype. So to train your anti-hype muscle, you can just use this quick heuristic, these 3 questions to screen any new tool in 30 seconds. Question number 1, does it serve my current bottleneck? If no, ignore. Done. Question number 2, what AI constraints does it really solve? If none, it's a wrapper or fantasy. Ignore. For that, use what I showed you in the layer 4, the different capabilities, limitations of AI, and the different innovation axes AI vendors are actively working on. Question number 3, is the effort worth it for my specific situation? If no, not now. Monitor or ignore. For that, use what I showed you in the cost benefit layer 5 in this video. It's the right framework you should use, the right mental model, the right dimension you should analyze cost against to make the cost benefit evaluation. If it survives all 3, then you can run the full framework in a more rigorous manner so that you have a more comprehensive evaluation. But let me tell you, 90% of the AI dies at question 1. I want to demo the concept of AI Jujitsu like I explained it in the video by showing you how I package all the frameworks, the 5 layer, the 3 filter, and the different frameworks I've shared with you in the video. So I want to show you how I package that into a method, a process, a workflow. And actually here it's a Claude Skills that my AI operating system can just use to evaluate any AI hype, AI new tool, AI new trend, right? So let's apply it to OpenClaw, which is the latest big hype as I'm recording this video, right? And to do this, we just call the skill and apply the skills to OpenClaw, most likely repo, maybe a bunch of other research around OpenClaw solution. Okay, so let's start. Hey, I want to use the anti-hype arsenal skill to evaluate this new tool that is called OpenClaw and evaluate if it's something I should pay attention to and spend time on and ultimately adopt. And just to help it, I will just give it the OpenClaw GitHub repo URL. This is the GitHub repo of the tool. It's deploying the anti-hype arsenal skill. It has identified what AI wave or new AI tool it has to investigate. Now it will ask me some questions. First, which evaluation mode I want for OpenClaw. And I can either use the 30-second triage method, like quick decision framework or heuristic, or I can do the full evaluation. Let's do the full evaluation. So step one, it will understand the layer one, my strategic context, my big obsessional goal, my unique vehicle, my current bottleneck, my priorities. It has found it. I will validate it. Once the strategic context is confirmed, it will now study the AI tool being evaluated, OpenClaw in this case. It's also making some additional web search to gather more information about the solution being evaluated. It's making a summary, a intelligence brief, in the sense of picking the relevant information about a topic. So that's the brief. We can see interesting information such as the claims, the technology underneath, the constraints it claimed to address, the costs elements, some red flag from the research. And now that it has gathered all this intelligence about the solution being evaluated with the framework, with the method, the anti-hype arsenal, now it can apply the different frameworks, which means layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, using them as the 3 filters and doing the different checks. So phase 1, the lean filter, the 4L applied to OpenClaw. No cost? It's not, because API credits and infrastructure costs. No human involvement? Most likely not, because there are some engineering, maintenance, security monitoring. So this is high human involvement. No complexity? Not at all. Why? Because of self-hosted infra, security surfaces that is wide, etc. So that's not easy. Low tech? Definitely not. There are a bunch of tech layers to figure out to make it work properly. Now, using the Musk-Hormozy framework, the 5-step question, do you actually need a unified AI assistant across all messaging platforms? My bottleneck is traffic. My work is content creation strategy, community management, and so on. And I already have Claude OS, which is my AI operating system. So I don't need AI assistant routing through WhatsApp, Telegram, and Discord. So evidence of need? None. I don't need that. Question 2, so should I delete it? Yeah, because OpenClaw is not addressing a problem that I'm experiencing. This is not my bottleneck. It's not solving my bottleneck. And then the 3 next step of the Musk-Hormozy framework, optimize, accelerate, automate, they are irrelevant because we killed during step 2. Since it's not addressing my bottleneck, you shouldn't pay attention to it. So the lean filter failed, and we could stop there. But let's go on with the framework. Phase 2, application of layer 1, business clarity, the scope test. So the key question is, does OpenClaw directly contribute to removing my traffic bottleneck? No. No, it doesn't. So filter 1 failed. It's a shiny object syndrome. That's the classification of this new trend for me in my context, okay? It's not universal. I mean, for some other developers that might be relevant to work on this, but for me, it's not relevant at all. The tool is genuinely impressive, but it is irrelevant for my stated bottleneck. Now, phase 3, application of layer 2 and 3. So my process, my data readiness in terms of process match, the work I have to focus on to remove my bottleneck, that is traffic, is non-deterministic and non-linear. But OpenClaw execution model is mainly routing messages to LLM for general purpose Q&A task automation. So deterministic and linear tasks, eventually browser control, etc. So the sweet spot of this tool is deterministic tasks, scheduling meeting, check email, lookup information, etc. For my work, which is mostly creative, in order to address my bottleneck, that means it's irrelevant. So there is a mismatch here. In terms of data, my reality is the following. I have structured project memory, knowledge base, YAML registry, strategic, like my data layer is super strong already because that's the foundation of my Claude OS architecture. My data is local and structured, but OpenClaw data access, it's mostly remote. It would not be that simple to leverage my own data layer in my Claude OS environment. It's possible, but it requires engineering and time and effort that is is here useless, right? So taking into account how my data readiness, how I use data, where my data is located, what is the type of data I'm using, it's a waste of time. So filter 2, fail. Now, layer 4, AI capability assessment. So the test number 1 is rationalization function. The claims of OpenClaw: self-improving AI, persistent memory across sessions, unified multi-channel messaging. That's one of the big features that they advertise or that are highlighted by the hype. Autonomous task execution, lots of skills available. Okay, these are the claims. Now, evidence assessment per claim. So here it's evaluating the match or difference between claims and reality as far as we can tell with the accessible document and resources. But here we have access to the repo. My AI has access to the repo, so to the code. And so it's just evaluating them and precising the reality. That's interesting analysis. Let's not go into the detail here. It's just to show that the AI, by accessing to the right information and having in mind the right framework to analyze AI solutions, can really make a diagnostic that is interesting to better understand the reality of whatever hype solution you are analyzing. Still, the core question is, what engineering limitation did OpenClaw solve? And the answer is cross-platform message routing mostly. And that's real. But that's a connectivity UX problem. It's not AI reasoning or context management breakthrough. So the second test is wrapper test, underlying technology. So it's analyzing the underlying technology, and then it applies this, strip the UI, what's left? It's a message router connecting standard messaging libraries to standard AI API. The models are the same. The integration are standard libraries. The scheduling is cron. Honestly positioned, the project itself is relatively honest. It positions itself as a personal AI assistant. However, media coverage likened to AGI, self-improving, revolutionary, inflates well beyond what the technology does. Here, that's really interesting. I mean, the people who develop the project, OpenClaw, they are totally honest with the capabilities and they're actively working on making it better. This is super interesting, super good what they're doing. But the hype is bullshitting about the project. So that's what is proven here. Test number C, open constraint assessment. So here the test is evaluating if the new AI tool is addressing current big constraints that AI is facing in terms of performance improvement. Context window, context passing, connectivity, and here, is it addressed or not? For context window, no. It's the same limits as the model it uses. Context passing, it's partial, depends on how the message is routed and how persistence of context is managed. Connectivity, yes, it's improving connectivity. Why? Because it's a UI with a UI layer that connects easily with Telegram, WhatsApp, and so on. Memory distillation, partial. There is some persistent memory at the conversation level, but it's not knowledge architecture like in my Claude CodeOS in this case. Once again, it's evaluating things against what I'm using currently. Additional mobility accessibility, yes. So here, that's interesting because I've identified these constraints are the main constraints in terms of AI performance, but here it's surfacing additional constraints that might be interesting to address here about accessibility. Okay, so capability assessment is mostly a wrapper with genuine connectivity value and the justification of this analysis, right? It's interesting because it helps, it's typical application of layer 4 as I've defined it in the video where I covered the AI, the anti-AI hype arsenal. It's setting the expectation at the right level. It's a reality check. Finally, phase 5, layer 5, cost-benefit reality check across the different cost categories: technical setup, high cost; AI optimization, medium cost; learning curve, pretty high; maintenance, pretty high; obsolescence risk, pretty high. And here, look at the accuracy of the analysis. The creator of OpenClaw joining OpenAI. WhatsApp Meta could break Bailey's integration at any time. Here, like the creator joining OpenAI, that means OpenAI will work on similar concept and may release a mass market solution that will make all this investment and complexity totally useless. Other costs, security risk, high, of course. That's one of the main arguments that people going against OpenClaw have raised. Complexity task, high, especially in my case. That would add a second AI system alongside my Claude CodeOS. So 2 systems to maintain, 2 contexts to manage, etc. So in question, the simplest alternative to OpenClaw is what I already have, which is my Claude CodeOS in my terminal or my IDE, leveraging Claude.ai and Claude Code access through mobile and web because Anthropic is providing this. And so what is existing would achieve already 80% of the pseudo benefits of this new OpenClaw solution. So I have a simple, that's the link question at play here. I have a simple alternative that follow the Pareto rules, which is I have no complexity, but I have 80% of the advantages with existing simple technology or approaches. Measurable benefit to my bottleneck removal is 0. So that's relevant to my strategic context. So filter 3, capability and cost fail at both. Phase 6, another test, but I'm showing you so that you can see that the entire framework can be applied, giving you different arguments justifying decision to adopt, ignore, or monitor. So here we are doing the phase 6, which is inflation trap check. Inflation means AI solution creating more possibilities, but also more overwhelm, more data, more information to manage, more tech to manage, etc. So is Darren considering this on top of many other activities, tools, project? Yes. Okay, so this is relevant to my reality, my operational reality. I already have 30 active projects in my AI operating system. I have some operational backlog. I have some incubating projects. I have a task backlog of 30 tasks. But hey, let's be cool. It's manageable. It's tracked and it will be done thanks to my AI operating system. Anyways, I already have lots of stuff to do. So it's not very good idea to distract myself with an additional shiny object, right? Would adopting open close spread attention and deepen execution? Obviously it will spread my attention. Would it add to the stack or replace something? It will just add additional stuff on top of my Claude Code OS. So it's irrelevant to spend time. Am I using AI to do fewer things better or more things worse if I'm using OpenClaw? Obviously, OpenClaw will make me do more things worse because splitting my attention. So inflation check, warning, shouldn't go. Finally, verdict assembly, summarizing all the different check, different frameworks my AI has used for me to evaluate if I should pay attention to this new AI tool. Verdict, ignore. Okay, and there is a summary. It has failed all the scopes and there is a warning on the inflation. So in terms of hypes classification, primarily it's a shiny object. In my case, in addition to that, it's mostly a wrapper. There is no super innovative technology that address the constraints of AI or that address the pillar of improvement that all big AI vendors are actively working on to make AI more useful. And in addition to that, it's hidden cost, lots of hidden cost, even if people or the hype present the tool as, hey, now you have an AI employee that works 24/7 for you without you doing nothing. You just like spit out words in your Telegram and you get fantastic work done by this AI employee. Obviously that's bullshit, but now we have the proof. And a quick cost benefit summary. So the cost is high, summary of the diagnostic, and so recommended action, ignore. The full evaluation is complete. Verdict is clearly ignore. That's AI Jujitsu, in the sense that a simple skill can process whatever AI hype, taking into account my context, my priorities, my current processes, my current data layer or data structure, the reality of AI technology as it is evolving, as it is improving, as it is limited as well, and the real cost across multiple cost dimensions. So it's taking into account all this without any involvement on my side, and it's capable of just protecting me against the hype, evaluating very quickly new AI tools, new AI waves, and advising me the right behavior or the right decision to make with regard to this AI hype, this AI new tool. And so that's AI protecting me against AI hype. You can access this skill inside my school community. I would share it because I think it's super valuable for any people involved in both business and trying to use AI to improve their business, grow faster, easier, with less overwhelm.